Hey guys, what's good? Your boy MKS here. Hope everyone's doing well. It's 1 in the morning here, so I thought I'd make a quick video before I go to sleep, uh, which I hope will inspire me for the next, for technically this day ahead. Hope I'll be able to get up early. I did have a nap earlier, so from about 7 to half 8. So I hope it will mean I had enough of a rest to still get up early. So anyway, I hope someone out there will enjoy this video, as I always do. But this is a list of 30 of my goals for the future, because as I talked before about, I love to have these patterns where certain days remind me of I like to plan certain things on different days. So on Thursday, I say it's like the day I wish to focus on politics and also on goal setting. And normally on Thursday it's like more realistic goals, but on Fridays it's more like dreams. Sort of what I would do if I could do anything, or imagine ifs and all sorts of things like that, trying to have as much fun as possible. But anyway, I hope I won't waffle too much, but I thought I'd make this before I go to bed, which as I say, I hope will inspire me for the next day. So as I normally do, I hope to think of a list of 30 ideas. For anyone who hasn't watched my videos before, they're not all lists, but quite a lot of them are. Probably about half or more than half a list videos. So, but as I often say, I hope I'll produce something for everyone out there. Anyway, I hope the video won't be too long, so I'll try and do it as quick as possible. But so please forgive me if I rush ahead or whatnot. But please ask any questions in the comment section, or offer any suggestions or comments as ever. So number one, I hope to get started, which I have done, by making my own YouTube channel and talking about Asia and plans for Asia, and I hope to continue with where I've started and look how I can hopefully turn those ideas into action and network with other people, and that sort of thing. Number two, I hope to learn as much as I can about Asia and things like that, and also how to network and listening to other people's ideas, and like what sort of goals people from Asia have and how we can help each other to reach our full potential, but also especially to tackle poverty and help people in Asia, such as those groups I talked about before. And I know I probably repeat a lot of these ideas, but as I say, because I'm hoping if I repeat them enough, they'll have more chance of working, I hope. But like I'd love to, although I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire myself, I'd love to somehow find to help people from Asia to write to people from Asia with dyslexia and or special needs or neurodiverse people, like people with dyslexia and ADHD and autism and things like that, but especially dyslexia and ADHD, to write to people like Richard Branson, and hopefully to encourage them to set up centres in Asia. And I've got this quirky dream where I'd love to, by 2030, for them to be, or ASAP really, for there to be as many dyslexic millionaires and even billionaires across Asia as possible. I know money isn't everything, but it's like a goal to aim towards. Number three, I know I talked a lot about, again, going back to number two, sorry, I'd love to learn as many things as possible about how to help people in Asia and things like that. Number three, I know I talk mainly about helping people from Asia at this moment and trying to focus on Asia, but because I'm talking about my plans for the future as well, looking ahead, I hope to, especially like in August and October, November, December, and next year, January, February, and March, I hope to look into how to every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, as much as possible, in those months, I hope to start this year and from this year onwards, try to encourage companies that deal with tea, like tea brands like Tetley or Tetley, which is owned by Tata, or PG Tips, or all those sorts of companies that to do projects where, like, for instance, they donate a certain amount of profits from the amount of tea they sell, maybe like say every August, for that month, or encouraging as many companies excuse me, as possible, probably as part of their PR as well, to donate towards the development of African technology. As I say, especially in August and August, October, November, and December, and January, February, March. I hope to, especially like every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and possibly Saturday and Sunday as well. Like as I plan things on certain days to encourage as many companies as possible, especially tea brands. Like say for instance, they can have events where people go and buy tea and they raise money for technology for Africa and advancement. So for every cup of tea they buy, a certain percentage goes, maybe 10% or whatever, towards the development of African technology. Number 4, I'd love to interview politicians of colour or people of colour about their political views or what their aspirations are for politics and things like that. And also, again, I know I'm mainly focused on Asia at the moment, but I'm hoping to work on how to unite together what I call the 4, which I've mentioned before, which are like indigenous or native people from Africa, Australasia, like Aborigines, Maoris, and people like that, and indigenous or Native Americans, and people from Asia as well, and how they can help each other network together. And like at this moment in time, I'm hoping for those other groups and people of colour generally, as well as many people as possible, to support Asia and its economies and projects that are in Asia and all that, and also people who are interested in Asia anyway, like just interested in the culture or things like martial arts or whatever. To talk about Asia generally and focus on Asia at the moment. But again, I hope to support those 4 groups at different times during the year and looking ahead into the future. Like January, February, and March, I hope to support, and hopefully I'll plan better next year as well. But January, February, March, I hope to support the global Black diaspora, especially from Africa and Indigenous Australasians. And like in February, especially people from Africa and African Americans and people like that. And then in October, November, and December, it'd be like more like in October, it could be Black British because it's Black History Month in the UK, and also November and December more about Africa and Indigenous Australasians and people like that. And in April, May, and June, I wish to support projects that support in Asia more. And in July, August, and September, I hope to focus on empowering Indigenous Americans, Native Americans, and hearing from them and things like that. And I hope to all 4 of those groups network together, especially in August, where I hope to empower all 4 of those groups, as well as perhaps other groups like disabled people. But yeah, I hope to plan things like that as much as possible. Number 5, I hope to listen to Asian people's goals and dreams for the future and how to help them to achieve those goals and work with them and work with NGOs and charities, philanthropists, as I say, like people like Richard Branson perhaps, or John Chambers, or Craig McCourt, or other dyslexic billionaires, or in some cases millionaires, to, as I jokingly call them, mere millionaires, but so another one of my quirks, but to set up their own training academies for entrepreneurs in Asia, and people also to mentor people in politics and other areas to reach their full aspirations, especially from disadvantaged backgrounds, like how to empower Dalits from India, the lower castes, so they can become empowered, like to have a political voice and help as many of those as possible to become entrepreneurs and things like that. Number 6, I hope to do the best I can and just keep doing my best to work as smart or hard or whatever it takes, as smart as possible and as hard as necessary to support Asia and help them to reach their full potential at the same time. Number 7, I hope for God to bless my plans and help me to be the most ethical and, in spite of my sins, and to make me as ethical as possible and help as many people as possible. And I know I talked before about God blessing asking God to bless my paperwork and things like that. But yeah, I hope for God to bless my plans and all that sort of thing, all being well. Number 8, I hope to spread positivity, positive thinking, positive vibes and things like that through my channel and my YouTube videos and my writing and things like that. Love, not hate, and all that sort of stuff. Peace, love, hope, joy, all those positive sorts of thoughts and vibes and things like that. Number 9, I hope to do as much writing as possible. I know I'm going to sleep really late, but I hope that I'll be able to wake up early enough and like work on my paperwork and priorities and things like that, and enjoy my paperwork and writing, and continue to support as much as possible, raise the profile of Asian artists and poets and people like that from Asia. And I think there was something else I was going to say. number 9, but I can't quite remember it. But yeah, so I'd love to have like as much permission as possible to store my paperwork and have agreement where I can store my paperwork and things like that. I know I've got a hoarding problem, but I also hope to just, cover the things about my habits and hoarding and those sorts of problems, which hopefully I can address or come to terms with or things like that through talking about it on my YouTube channel, and maybe talk about some like mental health things and things like that. But obviously it's quite difficult to talk about, but I hope to bring myself to talk about it eventually. At number 10, I know I mentioned before, I do this thing, this thing I call a timeline, or the MKS timeline. So I'm hoping to, I know I probably was a bit, I rushed perhaps the list last time, or probably wasn't that clear, but a timeline would be something like this, like wake up at 8 o'clock, hopefully have my breakfast, like probably have a banana or two to give me some energy, and have some tea and things like that, and till about 9 o'clock, and then from about 9 to 10 or 11, like go through my paperwork and think about what I want to do with them, my goals and my vision and all that sort of stuff, and my plans for the future and things like that, and what sort of ideas I can share with who, what sort of ideas I can have and what sort of people I can share them with and things like that. And from like 11 till 12, say, 11 till half 11 or 12, walk the dog, and then 12 till 1, maybe like make some more YouTube videos or something like that, or work on my plans, like to politically empower Asia, or talk about Pan-Asianism as a political concept and things like that. And then from from 1 to 2, like do some cleaning or tidying up and things like that. And then from 2 to maybe 3 or 4, like make some more YouTube videos. And then from about 3 or 4 till about 7, do as much writing as I can. And then maybe have a sleep or rest from about 7 to 8, and then have my dinner from about 8 to 9, and then for about 9 till whenever I fall asleep, because especially like tomorrow, or technically today, as I say, because like the next day is Friday, so technically tomorrow is Friday, so it's normally I'm a bit more flexible on Friday, so it probably won't matter if I wake up a bit later, although if I do not manage to wake up too early tomorrow, I might have to try and make up for lost time, so I might have to wake up a bit earlier. So sorry if that was a bit trivial or a bit of a nice life story moment, but I thought I'd go through the way I plan things and things like that. So I'm hoping to like write on my calendars, like these sorts of calendars. I like to write on the back. I know my handwriting's not very neat, but I hope to write my plans on there. So yeah, that's roughly so some of the plans I have for the future. Like as I say, I'm mainly focused on Asia at the moment until July, and then I hope to empower Indigenous Americans and talk about how they can network, and then especially in August I hope to bring all those 4 groups together and talk about how they can network together and empower each other, and sort of work on anti-imperial projects and like Indigenous communities from Australasia and the Americas, like networking together, especially like talking about Indigenous rights or things like that. I'm wary to use the word Indigenous because like everyone's probably Indigenous to somewhere, so like Europeans are obviously Indigenous to Europe, but they weren't colonized in the same way, I suppose, so that's why I wish to empower those other groups. So anyway, I hope I didn't waffle too much. I'd love to know what you think, and sorry if this video was a bit long. Peace out.